ഹായ്, പുതിയ എപ്പിസോഡിലേക്ക് ഏവർക്ക് സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ കാണാൻ പോകുന്നത് സോഷ്യൽ സയൻസിന്റെ ചാപ്റ്റർ 8 ആണ്, കേരള ടുവേർഡ്സ് മോഡേണിറ്റി. ഈ ചാപ്റ്ററിലെ കുറെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ആണ് നമ്മൾ ഇന്ന് കാണാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഒന്നാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, വെൻ ഡിഡ് യൂറോപ്യൻസ് കെയിം ടു കേരള? ആൻസർ, യൂറോപ്യൻസ് കെയിം ടു കേരള ബൈ ദ എൻഡ് ഓഫ് ദി 15th century. Second question, prior to Europeans, who were the prominent foreigners who had trade relations with Kerala? Arabs and Chinese were the prominent foreigners who had trade relations with Kerala. മൂന്നാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, who was the ruler of Kozhikode? Zamarin was the ruler of Kozhikode. നാലാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, what did Portuguese demand to Zamarin? Portuguese demanded to expel the Arab merchants from Kozhikode. അഞ്ചാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, who was the captain of Zamarin's navy and how many Kunyalis were there? Kunyali Marakar was the captain of Zamarin's navy and there were 4 Kunyalis. ആറാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, where is Marakar fort? പുതുപട്ടണം. Who helped Zamarin to regain the Chaliam fort from Portuguese? Kunyali III helped Zamarin to regain the Chaliam fort from Portuguese. എട്ടാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, name the poem Khazi Muhammad wrote praising Kunyali III on victory in 16th century. Fathul Mubin is a poem Khazi Muhammad has written praising Kunyali III victory in 16th century. Ninth question, name the foreigners competing with each other for trade monopoly. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the English and the French were competing with each other for trade monopoly. പത്താമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, when Dutch did expel the Portuguese from Kerala? Dutch expelled the Portuguese from Kerala in 1663. പതിനൊന്നാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, who defeated the Dutch in which battle? Marthandavarma of Travancore defeated the Dutch in Battle of Coalition. പന്ത്രണ്ടാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, when did William Keeling, a representative of East India Company, came to India? William Keeling, a representative of East India Company, came to India in 1615. Which place became an important military center of the British in the western coast? Anjudanga became an important military center of the British in the western coast. Which revolt considered as the first organized revolt against the British in Kerala? Attingal revolt considered as the first organized revolt against the British in Kerala. പതിനഞ്ചാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, after which treaty between British and Mysore rulers Malabar came under British rule? After Srirangapatnam Treaty in 1792 between British and Mysore rulers, Malabar came under British rule. 16th question, who led the resistance against the British in Malabar? Kerala Varma Parashi Raja of Kottayam royal family led the resistance against the British in Malabar. Who wrote a historical novel titled Kerala Simham? K.M. Panikar. പതിനെട്ടാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, who promised given by British to Parashi? The British promised Parashi the right to collect tax from Kottayam region as a reward for helping them in wars against by Mysore. When was assaulted Parashi's life? On 30 November 1805. Where Veluthambi did committed suicide? At the Mannadi temple. Who reacted against the uncontrolled intervention of the British in the internal affairs of Travancore and Kochi? Veluthambi and Paliyatachal. Write down the name of exported item from Kerala: coconut, jaggery, cashew nut, black pepper, arak nut and iron ore. What were built to improve transportation facilities? Roads, bridges and railways were built to improve transportation facilities. Where and when was the first setup of railway by British in India? The British set up the first railway line in Kerala from Baipur to Tirur in 1861. Where British developed the ports? At Kochi, Kozhikode and Alappuzha. Who collected tax from the tenants in excess and evicted them? Local chieftains and landlords. By which act the tenants got limited right over the land? Malabar Tenants Act of 1929. What is known as the Pandarapatta Vilambaram? The government of Travancore made a landmark proclamation in 1865 granting the tenants ownership of the lands they cultivated. It is known as the Pandarapatta Vilambaram. When was the Janmikudiyan Act passed? The Janmikudiyan Act was passed in 1896. When was enacted the Tenancy Act or Kudiyamma Niyamam in Kochi? In 1914. 31ാമത്തെ ചോദ്യം, where were Kerala's products in great demand? Kerala products were in great demand in foreign markets. Where was started the teak plantation? Teak plantation was started in Nilambur. Which cities' rulers facilitated transportation to British to start estates? Kochi and Travancore. For which production Kerala became a hub? Cash crop production. Which company needed plenty of teak wood and for what purpose? English East India Company needed plenty of teak wood for cargo shipbuilding. How many acres used by Connolly for plantation of teak? 1500 acres. In which year Colony planted teak? Connolly planted teak in 1823 to 38. For what purpose British started plantation in Kerala? For processing and exporting cash crops. Which factories and processing units was set up in high ranges? Tea and coffee factories and rubber processing units. Which was the hub of coconut oil industry? Alappuzha. Which factories were established in Kollam? Cashew nut processing and exporting. Where was the tile factories located? Tile factories were located in Faro, Kollam and Ullur. Where were started BD companies? Kannur. Which support provided by British company to the industries? Technical and financial support. Which project established propelled the development of modern industries? Pallivasal Hydroelectric Project. Write down the name of factories started in Kollam. Punalur Paper Mills, Kundra Ceramics. Which was the first private bank in Kerala? The Nedungadi Bank. Which was the first book entirely published in Malayalam language? Samkshipa Vedartham. Who published the English Malayalam and Malayalam English dictionaries? Benjamin Bailey and Dr. Herman Gundert. Which Malayalam newspaper was published by Herman Gundert? Rajasamacharam and Paschimodaya. Write down the name of missionaries whose field of work is Malabar. Basil Evangelical Mission, BEM. Who did the proclamation of free primary education in which year? Gauri Parvati Bhai in 1817. What was the base of punishment before British? It was based on the caste of accused. Where the smallpox vaccination was introduced first time? In Malabar. What was declined by new system in Kerala? The new system led to the declined to joint families and the Tharavod system. Where were the government hospitals started? Malabar, Kochi and Travancore. Why many reform movements sprang up? Because to fight inequality and social evils in the society. Who protested against joint family system? Chattambi Swamigal. Which organization established by Kuriakose Elias Chavara? Educational institutions and orphanages. Who organized the Tiruvidamkur Muslim Mahajan Sabha? Vaikam Abdul Khader Maulavi. What was said by Devadasaga? In the ocean of your glory of great profundity let us all together become immersed to dwell there in everlasting happiness. Who fought for the right to cover their upper body? The Chanar women of southern Travancore. Who forced to permit the Chanar women to wear jackets and in which year? Uttram Tirunal Maharaja in 1859. Who did consecration of the Lord Shiva in 1888? Sri Narayana Guru. Why consecration of Lord Shiva was taken place in 1888? Because the rise of new insights in the social sphere. What was inscribed by Sri Narayan Guru in front of Arvipuram temple? It is model place where people live without caste disparity or religious aversion but paternity. What was the base of working and messages of Sri Narayan Guru? The working and message of Sri Narayan Guru was based on noble human love and fraternity among all religions. Who led the Vaikam Satyagraha? T.K. Madhavan. When was the temple entry proclamation announced? 12 November 1936. Who organized the Savarna Jatha? Mannat Padmanabhan. Who chaired the first conference of Malabar district? Ani Besant. Where was the first conference of Malabar district take place and in which year? At Palakkad in 1916. Which issues discussed in conference held at Manjeri in 1920? Political reforms, problems of tenants, the Khilafat. Who declared their support to the Khilafat movement? Gandhiji and Shaukat Ali. Write down the name of President and Secretary of Khilafat Committee. Katalasheri Muhammad Maulavi and Muhammad Abdul Rahman Sahib. What is Malabar Rebellion? 1921. The Mappila peasants of Malabar fought against the British in Eranad, Valluvanad and Ponnani taluks. These struggles in general are known as Malabar rebellions. Which movement gained momentum in Malabar in 1930? The civil disobedience movement. Which party was reorganized as the Communist Party of India in 1939? The Congress Socialist Party. Who was the prominent leader of Communist Party? E.M.S. Namboodiripad, A.K. Gopalan and P. Krishna Pillai. How many people participated in Battle of Pukattur? 3,000. Who became president of the Indian National Congress? Chettur Shankaran Nair. Write down the name of book written by Chettur in this agreeing with the Gandhian ways of protest. Gandhi and Anarchy. Who wrote the war song Padapattu? Kambalat Govindan Nair. When was the political agitation started in Travancore? In 1891. What is known as Malayali Memorial? Under the leadership of a barrister G.P. Pillai, a memorandum was submitted to the king signed by more than 10,000 people seeking proportionate representation for the people of Travancore in government jobs. This mass representation is known as Malayali Memorial. What is known as Ezhava Memorial? In 1896, Dr. Palpu submitted a memorial to the king raising the problems faced by the Ezhava community. This is known as Ezhava Memorial. Who was the editor of Swadeshabhimani newspaper? Ramakrishna Pillai. What was known as Nivartana Prakshobham? In 1932, Christian, Muslim and Ezhava communities launched agitation seeking reservation in government jobs in proportion to their population. This was known as Nivartana Prakshobham or abstention movement. Who targeted the citizens' freedom and popular rule? Agitations at Punnapura and Vayalar by the workers. Who led the formation of Cochin Judges Prajamandalam? S. Neelakanta Iyer as president and Eduthasan as general secretary. How our people live under this economic system? Our people live in starvation and despair under this economic system. Which was the first women conference in Kerala? Congress conference at Vadagara. Who was the prominent women leaders of the national movement? A.V. Kuttimalu Amma, Akkamma Cheriyan and Annie Mascarin. Who was decided in Congress session held at Nagpur in 1921 to set up state Congress committees on linguistic basis. Where and when was the first Kerala State Political Conference held? Ottapalam from 23 to 26 April 1921. Which regions was uniting by Kerala Pradesh Congress Committee? Travancore, Kochi, Malabar regions. Where was the United Kerala Convention held in 1947? At Thrissur. When was the state of Tirukochi formed? 1st July 1949. What was the idea placed by E.M.S. Namboodiripad in his book Onnegal Kodi Malayaligal? The idea that the Kerala state was to be formed combining the Malayalam speaking regions. When was the Kerala state came into existence? 1st November 1956. Which taluks in southern Karnataka became part of Kerala? The taluks of Kasargod and Hosdur in southern Karnataka became part of Kerala. Who wrote the Pledge of United Kerala? N.V. Krishnavariyar. Which economic changes take place in Kerala? Part of world market changes in land relations, commercialization of agriculture, industrial growth. അപ്പോൾ ഏകദേശം 103 ചോദ്യങ്ങളാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു ചാപ്റ്ററിൽ നിന്നിട്ട് കവർ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. നമ്മുടെ ഓരോ വീഡിയോകളും കാണാനായിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ചാനൽ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്ത് ബെല്ലൈക്കൺ കൂടി ഇനേബിൾ ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പോൾ തൊട്ടുള്ള വീഡിയോകളെല്ലാം തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എത്രയും വേഗം തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നതായിരിക്കും. മാത്രമല്ല നിങ്ങളുടെ സംശയങ്ങളും നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങളും എല്ലാം തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ കമൻറ്റ് ബോക്സിൽ കമൻസ് ആയിട്ട് ഇടുക. അപ്പോൾ വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക, ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക. പുതിയ എപ്പിസോഡായിട്ട് വേഗം തന്നെ വരുന്നതായിരിക്കും. ബൈ.